Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the escalating tensions between the United States and China, specifically regarding advanced microchips. As you may already know, the Biden administration has implemented new export controls that have cut off China's access to these microchips, which has serious implications for their military advancements. This is not just a simple trade dispute, but it has the potential to escalate into a full-blown economic war. But what does this mean for us, the everyday people? It's important to understand that China is currently the world's manufacturing hub, and these new export controls will certainly impact the global economy. Businesses and consumers alike will feel the effects of this economic war, and it's important that we stay informed and educated on the situation. That's why I want to hear from you, my community. How do you think this economic war will affect you and your business? Are you worried about the potential consequences? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and let's have an open and honest discussion about this important issue. Together, we can better understand the implications and potential outcomes of this escalating conflict. The United States has basically declared war on China, and this is bound to have devastating effects worldwide. This war is not being fought on the military front, however, at least not yet. It's being fought on the economic front, and boy, has the US just dropped quite the nuclear bomb on Beijing. New export controls in the US from the Biden administration have cut off China's access to advanced microchips, affecting Beijing's military advancements. There are now fears that this competition for technology may intensify an already fragile relationship. What we see now is the United States, under the Biden administration, taking as many steps as possible to try to limit China's access to these emerging technologies. And let me tell you, this is really coming at a time when we have the Party Congress in China also on their way. Chip stocks across Asia are falling victim to the escalating US-China tech war. The sell-off has slashed more than $1 billion from the sector's global market value, and investors are spooked by the fresh curbs placed on China to block its access to American technology. You see, the United States has sanctioned all U.S. microchip technology from being made available in China. This was done to contain Beijing's technology and military ambitions, especially as the CCP's foreign policy has turned aggressive in recent years. The impact, repercussions, and consequences of such an action cannot be understated. Seeing as China is the world's top manufacturer of, well, basically everything, cutting them off from microchip technology is tantamount to cutting off their lifeblood, and they will not take it lying down. Even the Prime Minister of Singapore has said that these actions will have severe ramification. So let's get into the finer details of what is happening and the reason it is happening. And now, the U.S. is down to another theater of conflict, the South China Sea. America has sent an aircraft carrier to the region, and China responded with a military exercise. This comes amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and China over technology, Taiwan, and China's tacit support of Russia's war in Ukraine. Worsening U.S.-China relations could drive a wedge between tech players. Growing divide, differences in ideology, and even systems of governance are playing out over a range of issues. These include trade disputes, the South China Sea, and more recently, escalating tensions over Taiwan. To understand the severity of the U.S.-imposed sanctions, you need to appreciate the importance of microchips in today's society. Everything from your phone, your washing machine, your TV, your car, your airplane, and your satellites need microchips to function. Microchips, in their different capacities, regulate various processes that allow your devices to run efficiently and smoothly. The better the quality of the microprocessor, the more efficient the process is. Now, China, despite being the manufacturing hub of the world, has lagged in microchip technology. This is both in the form of intellectual property and the structures needed to create world-leading microchips. To curb this, they've simply been importing their microchips and using those in the products they make. At present, China consumes more than 3/4 of the microchips sold globally, but produces only about 1% of the global output. This shows the reliance that China has on imported microchips. So what it comes down to is that microchips are essential for China to continue being the manufacturing hub of the world. This is exactly the lifeblood vein that the United States is attacking. Before we talk about how the US has cut China off, how about you take a second to subscribe to the channel? Don't get cut off from the uncensored real news of the world. Now, let's talk about the US actions. The US has imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, restricted access to technology, and targeted Chinese companies like Huawei. These actions have had a significant impact on the Chinese economy and have forced many companies to look for alternative manufacturing locations. However, China is not taking these actions lying down. They have responded by investing heavily in technology and innovation, as well as building relationships with other countries to reduce their dependence on the US. They are also working on developing their own microchip industry to reduce their reliance on foreign suppliers. In the end, the US's actions may have short-term effects on China's economy, but in the long run, they may push China to become even more competitive in the global market. It remains to be seen how this will all play out, but it is clear that the US and China are locked in a battle for economic dominance. It will be interesting to see who comes out on top. It is important to note that this is just one aspect of the complex relationship between the US and China. There are many other factors at play, such as political and military tensions, that also play a significant role in shaping the relationship between these two nations. It is important to stay informed and to not just focus on one aspect of the story. So, to sum it up, microchips are crucial for China to maintain its position as the world's manufacturing hub. It's the lifeblood vein that the United States is targeting. But let's not forget, the US heavily relies on China as well. Think about it. How many of the products you use on a daily basis are made in China? From smartphones to laptops to even household items like kitchen utensils, China plays a significant role in our economy. It's a classic case of be careful what you wish for. If the US continues to cut China off from the global supply chain, it's not just China that will suffer, but American consumers and businesses as well. Prices will go up, products will become scarce, and the US will have to find new sources for manufactured goods. To put it in a more sarcastic tone, let's just hope the US doesn't end up having to rely on homemade goods made from popsicle sticks and duct tape. So before we jump to conclusions and call for a complete shutdown of China's manufacturing capabilities, let's take a step back and consider the consequences. And, as always, stay informed and subscribe to my channel for uncensored real news.